Far beyond the edge of known space, the Forbidden Zone stretched like a scar across the galaxy. No star charts marked it with certainty, and every civilization whispered warnings about the region. Ships that entered often disappeared without a trace, swallowed by gravitational anomalies, plasma storms, and strange, unexplainable phenomena. Legends spoke of fleets vanishing centuries ago, leaving behind nothing but silence and fear. Most species avoided it entirely. The Forbidden Zone was a place of mystery, danger, and, according to many, death itself. Yet in the darkness of that dangerous expanse, something unexpected appeared. Sensors aboard a Galactic scout ship detected an enormous vessel emerging from the shadows. Its shape was unmistakably human, a sleek modular craft with angular edges and a silhouette that seemed to defy the harsh environment around it. The alien crew aboard the scout ship froze, unable to comprehend what they were seeing. Humans had not been sighted in the region for centuries. The species was thought to have vanished long ago, lost to the very storms that now surrounded them. Word spread quickly across nearby systems. Alien fleets, explorers, and traders all turned toward the coordinates. Questions ran rampant. Was it a relic of a forgotten era? Had humans somehow survived where none could? Or was it a trick of the senses, an anomaly shaped by the strange forces of the Forbidden Zone? Every civilization that received the signal sent ships to investigate, curiosity battling caution. As the vessel moved closer, its presence seemed almost impossible. It emitted a calm, steady energy signature that contrasted sharply with the chaotic environment of the zone. Waves of cosmic radiation, swirling gravitic storms, and volatile plasma ribbons danced around it. Yet the ship remained unscathed. Alien. Engineers and scientists observing the vessel were astonished. It was built with a type of resilience they had never seen before. Its hull, while seemingly simple, adapted dynamically to the shifting pressures and energy bursts of the zone. It was as if the ship itself were alive, responding to its surroundings with intelligence and grace. Speculation turned into fascination. Historical records of humans depicted them as clever, ambitious, and remarkably resourceful, but no account could have prepared the galaxy for what it was witnessing. A renowned alien historian, a slender being with bioluminescent eyes, murmured in awe, "If this is real, it is more than a ship. It is proof that humans survive where others fail." Even as fleets approached cautiously, the humans made no hostile maneuvers. There were no weapons drawn, no aggressive signals sent. Instead, the ship emitted a soft, rhythmic pulse, a signal of peace, calm yet unmistakably deliberate. The aliens aboard their own ships exchanged uneasy glances. Could a species, so long presumed lost, really be here, not seeking conquest, but simply returning from the void? Curiosity and fear clashed within every species observing the vessel. Some saw opportunity, a chance to make contact with a legendary species and learn secrets of survival in the most dangerous reaches of space. Others feared the unknown, imagining what humans might do if they were not as peaceful as they appeared. Whispers traveled faster than the ships themselves. A human vessel has returned. It survived the Forbidden Zone. It is real. Inside the human ship, the crew moved with quiet efficiency. Every action seemed purposeful. Every decision calculated but flexible. There was no panic, no hesitation, only a sense of calm determination. They had survived the zone for generations, and they understood its dangers intimately. Their ancestors had faced cosmic storms, alien remnants of ancient technology, and the relentless isolation of deep space, and they had thrived. Now they were emerging not as wanderers lost to history, but as a living testament to human resilience. As the first alien ships reached a cautious intercept position, the human vessel continued its steady course. Its emergence was more than an anomaly. It was a challenge to the galaxy's understanding of survival, ingenuity, and the limits of what a single species could endure. The Forbidden Zone had kept its secrets for centuries, but now, for the first time in recorded history, one species had not only survived, it had returned. The galaxy held its breath. The alien fleet hovered at the edge of the Forbidden Zone, their ships forming a cautious perimeter around the human vessel. Energy shields hummed, engines idled nervously, and every commander was on edge. They had never seen anything like it. Not since the early days of galactic exploration had a species presumed lost reappeared so boldly. The human ship, meanwhile, continued its slow, deliberate approach, unbothered by the swirling chaos of cosmic storms and gravitational distortions. From a distance, it seemed almost serene, a solitary figure gliding through a turbulent void. Sensors aboard alien vessels detected life signs, artificial energy patterns, and technological readings that defied their understanding. Every scan confirmed the impossible. Humans had not only survived, but had thrived in the deadliest reaches of space. Then, unexpectedly, the vessel broadcast a signal. A calm, melodic tone resonated across frequencies known to all advanced civilizations. Translators processed it instantly. The humans were communicating. The message was clear, polite, and deliberate. They offered no threat, no demands, only words of peace. The alien crews stared in disbelief. Many had expected hostile action, a trap, or some desperate cry for help. Instead, the humans were speaking directly, confidently, and with authority. The words themselves carried a sense of calm determination. We come in peace. We seek understanding and observation. We mean no harm. A bioluminescent historian who had spent centuries chronicling human myths leaned closer to the communication panel. Its eyes shimmered with disbelief. This is beyond anything we imagined, it murmured. The vessel, the message, the crew. It is undeniably human. They have returned. For a moment, all attention shifted from fear to fascination. The alien fleets had prepared for conflict, yet they now realized they were witnessing something far rarer, a species demonstrating restraint, intelligence, and organization in a situation that could easily demand aggression. Unlike most known civilizations, humans seemed able to assess risk calmly, act decisively, and communicate clearly even in the face of unknown dangers. Captain Auric of the human vessel stood on the command deck, observing the alien formations through a reinforced viewport. Every ship, every signal, and every radar blip was accounted for. The humans moved with an efficiency that was almost artistic, their actions coordinated as if rehearsed for generations. Yet there was no rigidity. Adaptability was embedded into every decision. A crew that could improvise in moments of crisis and remain composed even when facing overwhelming odds. Prepare for scans, Auric said softly. Let them see we are not a threat. Initiate passive shields. Maintain course. The aliens, wary but curious, responded with cautious probes, sending scanning drones to analyze the human vessel. Every measurement yielded unexpected results. The ship absorbed and redirected energy fluctuations. Its propulsion systems adjusted to gravitational anomalies with a fluidity that alien engineers had only theorized about. The materials composing, the hull seemed alive in some sense, flexing, adapting, and reinforcing themselves against the violent environment. One younger alien officer, trembling with awe, whispered, How is this possible? Humans were supposed to be extinct. Their technology? It's unlike anything in the galaxy. Auric leaned back, studying the alien fleet. We expected them to doubt us, he said, voice calm. Doubt is natural. But curiosity is stronger than fear. That is why we are here. Let them see what humans can do. Slowly, the tension began to shift. Where fear had once dominated, fascination began to take root. The humans' calm confidence, their ability to exist unthreatened in a space that had consumed countless others, sparked something alien observers had never anticipated. Respect. A council ship moved closer, its commander signaling the fleet to hold position. This species, it is unlike any we have catalogued, the commander admitted. They are not reckless, they are not desperate. They are precise, intelligent, adaptable. I have never seen such composure. The human vessel continued its silent glide, unarmed, undaunted, and deliberate. It did not need to fire a weapon, to assert dominance, or to flee. Its presence alone was a statement. Humanity had returned, and it had done so not through brute force, but through resilience, intelligence, and the quiet power of courage. The galaxy had expected chaos. Instead, it had received wonder. The alien fleet maintained a cautious distance, their sensors probing every inch of the human vessel. Questions swirled through the minds of every observer. How had these humans survived in the Forbidden Zone, a place where fleets had vanished? Without a trace? How had they endured generations in the most dangerous reaches of the galaxy? And perhaps most importantly, why were they returning now? Inside the human ship, Captain Orcs stood at the command deck, reviewing navigation logs and environmental scans. The crew worked in perfect synchrony, passing information, adjusting systems, and responding to the alien presence with quiet efficiency. It was a level of coordination that left alien observers astonished. Every crew member had a role, yet every individual was empowered to act when necessary. This balance of order and flexibility was something no alien civilization had ever witnessed. In a species presumed primitive or extinct, Auric finally decided it was time to communicate. The humans opened a secure channel with the Council's lead vessel. The message was deliberate, calm, and precise. We are humans. We have survived here for generations. The Forbidden Zone is not a grave for us. It is a place of learning, adaptation, and endurance. We seek understanding and dialogue, not conflict. The aliens, taken aback by both the clarity and the content of the message, hesitated. A few skeptics muttered warnings about deception or trickery, but curiosity overpowered fear. They wanted to know the truth of how humans could survive where countless others had failed. Auric began to explain. The Forbidden Zone, dangerous as it was, had become a laboratory of survival for the human descendants. Every anomaly, every storm, and every rogue energy field had been a teacher. Humans had learned to anticipate cosmic events, to repair and adapt their technology with whatever resources they could salvage, and to make decisions in moments of extreme pressure. Their ship, a blend of human ingenuity and recovered alien tech, reflected this philosophy. It was not the most powerful vessel in raw firepower, but it was resilient, flexible, and efficient beyond any measured standard. Alien engineers scanned the ship repeatedly, trying to reconcile the humans' achievements with known physics and technology. Every system, the energy shields, the propulsion modules, even the communications arrays, defied conventional understanding. It was as if humans had a way of seeing solutions that others could not, a combination of intuition, creativity, and relentless problem-solving. "You cannot teach this," whispered one engineer to a colleague. "It is instinct. It is adaptation." Meanwhile, within the human crew, younger members moved seamlessly among the ship's systems, adjusting components, performing repairs, and monitoring the complex interactions between alien and human technology. There was no panic, no hesitation, only calm efficiency, backed by generations of experience surviving conditions that would have broken lesser beings. Humans had adapted not by conquering the Forbidden Zone, but by learning from it, shaping themselves and their environment to coexist with its hazards. Alien historians began to grasp the magnitude of what they were witnessing. This was more than survival. It was mastery. The humans had transformed the Forbidden Zone from a symbol of fear into a proving ground, a place where their resilience, intelligence, and ingenuity could flourish. The galaxy had always measured species by conquest, firepower, or technological dominance. But humans had demonstrated that adaptability, courage, and collective ingenuity could rival or surpass all of those measures. Speculation spread quickly among the alien fleets. Could a species so long thought extinct have evolved beyond their myths? Could humans be the key to understanding the Forbidden Zone's mysteries, or even other regions deemed unreachable? Rumors circulated about the humans' ancestors, an expedition lost centuries ago, now thriving in isolation, turning adversity into opportunity. For every skeptic, there was a believer, captivated by the elegance of human survival. Auric finally closed the communication. "Let them wonder," he said quietly. "Let them see we are real, and let them choose how to respond. Our purpose is not conquest. Our purpose is survival, knowledge, and discovery. That alone is enough to change their perception of what humans can achieve." As the alien fleet observed in silence, they began to understand a new truth. Humans were not just surviving in the galaxy, they were thriving in ways that no one had predicted. Their resilience, resourcefulness, and ingenuity had turned the forbidden into the familiar, the impossible into the attainable. And as whispers of awe spread across the council ships, one thing became undeniable: humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never view them the same way again. The Forbidden Zone was alive with danger, twisting gravitational storms, rivers of charged plasma, and remnants of ancient defense drones created a labyrinth of hazards that had destroyed countless fleets. Alien commanders had long warned that no ship could navigate this sector without being torn apart. Yet Captain Auric's human vessel approached with calm precision, undeterred by the chaos swirling around it. "Prepare for manual navigation," Auric said to the bridge crew, his voice steady. "The sensors can guide us, but intuition will keep us alive." The crew nodded, each member moving with practiced efficiency, understanding the balance between individual initiative and coordinated teamwork that had kept their ancestors alive in these hostile regions for generations. Alien observers followed at a cautious distance, their curiosity battling fear. Many expected the humans to falter, to panic under the relentless pressures of the Forbidden Zone. Some even bet that their so-called ingenuity would collapse at the first sign of real danger. But the humans moved like a single organism, adjusting shields, calculating vectors, and responding to hazards faster than any algorithm or automated system could predict. The first challenge came quickly. A plasma storm, swirling like a living serpent, surged toward the human vessel, its electric tendrils lashing out with destructive energy. Alien fleets held their breath. They had never seen a ship survive such a storm without sustaining crippling damage. Yet, the humans did more than survive. They anticipated the storm's shifting currents, angling the vessel to ride its energy like a skilled surfer on a cosmic wave. "Minor hull fluctuations detected," Auric noted calmly. "Reinforce aft shields and divert auxiliary power. Maintain course." Within seconds, the adjustments neutralized the storm's effects. The alien engineers monitoring the event exchanged stunned glances. Their finest ships would have been shredded. These humans, however, maneuvered as if dancing with the hazards rather than resisting them. Next came the rogue drones, remnants of an ancient defense system, long abandoned but still functional, programmed to attack anything unfamiliar. They swarmed toward the vessel, their energy pulses deadly, their movements erratic. Most species would have activated full weapon protocols, but the humans responded differently. "Evasive maneuvers, left vector 3, Auric ordered. Crew members redirected energy fields, activated adaptive countermeasures, and exploited the drone's programming weaknesses. One by one, the drones were neutralized, disabled without unnecessary destruction. Even alien commanders noted the elegance of the approach. Humans had achieved victory with minimal force, relying on wit and precision rather than brute power. Throughout the journey, the humans maintained constant communication, both internally and with the observing alien fleet. "Notice their coordination," a young alien officer whispered. "They don't need direct orders for every action. Every crew member knows what to do, and they adapt instantly to unexpected changes." The final test came as they approached a massive gravity well, the kind that could tear a vessel apart if miscalculated by even a fraction of a degree. Sensors fluctuated wildly, making navigation nearly impossible. Auric and his crew relied on intuition honed over generations. With steady hands and focused minds, they calculated the perfect approach, adjusting thrust and shields in harmony with the unpredictable pull of the gravity well. The ship slid past the gravitational edge unscathed, leaving alien observers speechless. As the human vessel emerged from the final hazard, a ripple of admiration spread among the alien fleets. The humans had navigated the most dangerous sector of the Forbidden Zone without casualties, without fear, and without compromising their mission. Where others would have panicked, been destroyed, or surrendered to the zone's chaos, humans had thrived. Captain Auric allowed himself a small smile. "Let them see," he said softly. "We survive because we understand. We adapt, and we trust each other. That is what makes us human." Across the alien fleets, the message was clear. These humans were not just survivors. They were masters of adaptability, courage, and ingenuity. They had turned the Forbidden Zone, a region considered untouchable and deadly, into a proving ground. And in doing so, they had begun to rewrite the galaxy's perception of what humans were capable of achieving. Whispers spread quickly. Even the most skeptical alien commanders had to admit humanity was extraordinary. They had faced the impossible and emerged not only intact but triumphant. The Forbidden Zone, long feared as a place of death, had become the stage upon which humans demonstrated their unique brilliance, a brilliance that the galaxy could no longer ignore. News of the human vessel's emergence spread like wildfire through the galaxy. Star systems that had long dismissed humanity as extinct now buzzed with a mix of awe, curiosity, and unease. The Galactic Council, composed of representatives from the largest and most influential civilizations, called an emergency assembly. The chamber, normally reserved for routine deliberations, now trembled with tension. Delegates whispered to one another, some eager to witness the humans for themselves, others apprehensive about what their return might mean. Ambassadors from hundreds of worlds gathered, each representing a different perspective. Some hailed from militaristic civilizations, proud of their fleets and war strategies. Others came from exploratory or diplomatic backgrounds focused on trade, knowledge, and cooperation. Every species carried centuries of assumptions about humanity, most of them dismissive. But those assumptions were now under siege. The humans had not only survived the Forbidden Zone, they had demonstrated skill, intelligence, and courage that challenged the very core of galactic understanding. The council chamber fell silent as a holographic projection of the human vessel appeared at the center. Its sleek design and quiet resilience were on full display. Messages of peace and explanation from Captain Auric echoed through the assembly. "We are humans. We have survived in the Forbidden Zone for generations. We seek understanding, dialogue, and shared exploration. We do not seek conflict, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." Murmurs spread across the chamber. Some delegates were skeptical, insisting that the human survival was either a trick or a fluke. "Perhaps they are desperate," one representative argued. "They survived by luck or hiding. They cannot possibly maintain this level of skill across generations." Others countered with a mix of awe and concern. "Look at the vessel," said a historian from a scholarly civilization. "The design, the systems, the way they navigated the Forbidden Zone, they are not lucky. They are extraordinary. If humans have truly mastered survival in conditions we consider impossible, they may possess knowledge and abilities that could change the balance of power in the galaxy." Debate raged for hours. Some delegates pushed for cautious engagement, suggesting a gradual approach to diplomacy, scientific exchange, and monitoring. Others favored military preparedness, insisting that humanity's capabilities, while impressive, could pose a threat if unchecked. Historical records had depicted humans as reckless or short-lived, but first-hand reports from the Forbidden Zone contradicted those narratives. Now the Council had to reconsider centuries of assumptions. Captain Auric, observing from the human vessel, monitored the Council's proceedings through secure communication channels. He had anticipated hesitation, skepticism, and even hostility. The humans were prepared not for conquest, but for understanding. Their presence alone was a demonstration of what they had accomplished in the Forbidden Zone, a testament to endurance, intelligence, and unity. To reinforce their peaceful intentions, the humans shared detailed scans and recordings of their journey through the most perilous sections of the zone. They showed how they had navigated plasma storms, gravitational maelstroms, and ancient defense drones. Every maneuver was documented, every calculation explained. Alien delegates watched in silence, slowly realizing that humans had survived not through brute force, but through ingenuity, foresight, and cooperation. Even the Council's skeptics began to acknowledge the truth. "These humans are remarkable," admitted a seasoned admiral. "They have adapted where others would fail. They think, plan, and act in ways we cannot predict. We may have underestimated them for centuries." Finally, after endless debate, the Council reached a tentative consensus. Humans would be allowed to establish contact, share knowledge, and demonstrate their capabilities further. They were not to be feared, but neither were they fully understood. A delicate balance of caution and curiosity would guide interactions, with humanity moving forward. As the session concluded, whispers of astonishment and admiration filled the council chamber. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to see humans not as a vanished species of legend, but as a living testament to what resilience, intelligence, and courage could achieve. The human vessel, calm and steady in its orbit beyond the Forbidden Zone, had changed perceptions, challenged assumptions, and captured the imagination of an entire galaxy. Captain Eric watched the holographic council disperse, a quiet satisfaction settling over him. Humanity's return was no longer a question. It was a reality, and the galaxy, whether it knew it yet or not, would never view humans the same way again. The stage was set for the next phase of humanity's story, proving their strength, intelligence, and resolve not through force, but through courage, ingenuity, and the quiet brilliance that had allowed them to survive the impossible. The calm of the human vessel's approach toward the Galactic Council's spaceways was deceptive. While many delegates had accepted humanity's peaceful intent, a faction of militaristic alien species remained unconvinced. To them, humans were unknown, unpredictable, and potentially dangerous. A show of strength, they believed, would reveal whether humans were truly as resilient as they claimed, or if their return was merely a fluke waiting to be exposed. As the human ship entered the contested sector, a fleet of heavily armed warships intercepted them. Energy shields glowed brightly, weapon ports opened, and tactical systems hummed with readiness. The humans, however, did not panic. Captain Auric observed the incoming forces with calm eyes, assessing positions, trajectories, and potential strategies. This was not the first time humanity had faced overwhelming odds. "Prepare adaptive maneuvers," Auric commanded. "We will respond with precision, not aggression. The alien fleet launched the first wave of attacks. Missiles streaked across space and energy pulses threatened to overwhelm the human vessel's shields. Sensors picked up gravitational anomalies that distorted every trajectory, turning conventional evasive maneuvers into near-impossible calculations. Yet the humans responded with skill and ingenuity that defied the expectations of even the most seasoned alien commanders. Shields flexed and shifted in real time, absorbing and redirecting energy while thrusters adjusted in a fluid dance. Crew. Members worked in perfect synchrony, each anticipating the needs of the others. Where algorithms had failed for the aliens, intuition and experience guided the humans. They dodged missiles, redirected power to critical systems, and neutralized threats with minimal effort and maximum efficiency. Divert auxiliary energy to forward shields. Maintain our vector, Auric instructed, his voice calm but commanding. Every order was executed with precision, each adjustment saving the vessel from catastrophic damage. Alien observers watched in awe, their disbelief growing with every moment. The humans were not only surviving, they were controlling the battlefield in ways that seemed impossible. The second wave arrived, unmanned drones equipped with advanced targeting systems, designed to overwhelm and incapacitate any intruder. Most species would have deployed countermeasures blindly, relying on firepower or brute force. The humans, however, anticipated each drone's behavior, exploiting weaknesses in their programming. Using controlled energy pulses, carefully timed maneuvers, and precise electronic interference, they neutralized the swarm without destroying a single drone. One young alien officer whispered to a colleague, voice tinged with awe, They think differently. They don't just react, they predict, adapt, and improvise in ways we cannot match. As the engagement continued, the humans demonstrated an extraordinary combination of strategy, adaptability, and courage. They relied not on overwhelming strength, but on creativity, teamwork, and the ability to anticipate their opponent's moves. The alien fleet, despite superior numbers and firepower, began to recognize the truth. Humans were not reckless, nor were they weak. They were formidable in a way that no conventional measure could capture. Finally, after hours of tense maneuvers and near misses, the alien faction ceased their attacks. Their commanders signaled a withdrawal, acknowledging the human superiority not through weapons, but through intellect and coordination. Murmurs of respect and astonishment spread through the remaining observers. Captain Auric allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. "Let them remember this," he said quietly. "We do not fight to conquer. We fight to endure, to adapt, and to prove what humans can achieve when united." Across the galaxy, news of the encounter spread. Pilots, diplomats, and historians alike were astounded. The humans had faced superior forces, navigated deadly anomalies, and emerged unscathed, all without unnecessary aggression. They had shown the galaxy that survival and brilliance could coexist, and that humanity's return was not a threat, but a testament to what could be achieved through courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. For the first time in centuries, humans were not just a legend. They were a reality that demanded acknowledgement. Alien civilizations began to reconsider their long-held assumptions about the species once thought lost. Humanity had returned, not merely to exist, but to demonstrate that adaptability, skill, and teamwork could challenge even the most advanced forces in the galaxy. The human vessel, calm and steady, continued its course, leaving behind a stunned and inspired galaxy. In every corner of the council, in every fleet observing from afar, one thought echoed: humanity was extraordinary. And the galaxy would never view humans the same way again. The human vessel's triumph in the contested sector became the talk of the galaxy. Stories of their skill, courage, and ingenuity spread across star systems like wildfire. Pilots who had once dismissed humans as extinct shared whispered accounts of how a single human crew had navigated the Forbidden Zone, outmaneuvered superior fleets, and neutralized ancient drones with precision and calm. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to take notice, realizing that humans were no longer a legend. They were a force of ingenuity and resilience, unlike any seen before. In the Galactic Council, delegates who had been skeptical now spoke of humanity with admiration and cautious curiosity. The militaristic factions that had sought to test the humans' capabilities could no longer deny what they had witnessed. Even their reports, filled with technical data and battle simulations, highlighted a truth they could not ignore. Humans had not only survived impossible conditions, they had excelled. Captain Auric convened his crew to discuss the next steps. They had proven themselves in the most dangerous environments and had earned the attention of the galaxy. Now their mission was clear: to share knowledge, forge connections, and continue exploring uncharted space while demonstrating the principles that had allowed humans to thrive for generations. "Our journey is just beginning," Auric told his crew. "We have shown the galaxy that we exist, that we endure, and that we can achieve the impossible. Now, we must demonstrate what humans can contribute to a universe eager for knowledge and cooperation." The first phase of diplomacy began with controlled interactions. Scientists, historians, and engineers from various species boarded the human vessel to observe and learn. They were astonished at the seamless integration of human and alien technology. Systems once thought incompatible worked in perfect harmony, demonstrating a flexibility and ingenuity that had no parallel. Humans explained how they had survived the Forbidden Zone, sharing techniques for resource management, adaptive engineering, and predictive navigation. Every lesson, every innovation was a testament to centuries of human endurance and creativity. Across distant star systems, young pilots and explorers were inspired. Hollow screens and communication networks buzzed with reports of human skill and bravery. Legends of the Forbidden Zone, once a tale of fear, were rewritten. Now the stories emphasized humans who had mastered it, turning danger into opportunity. In cantinas, academic halls, and diplomatic forums alike, humans became a symbol of hope, determination, and ingenuity. The human vessel itself became a living testament. Its calm passage through the galaxy, unarmed yet formidable, left an impression on every species that encountered it. It was proof that strength was not only measured in firepower or dominance, but in intelligence, creativity, and the ability to adapt to any circumstance. Even warlike civilizations began to reconsider the value of diplomacy and cooperation when faced with a species capable of achieving the extraordinary without resorting to aggression. Alliances began to form. Small exploratory teams sought partnerships with humans, hoping to learn from their experience and technology. Trade routes opened to include rare resources from the Forbidden Zone, and researchers collaborated with humans on projects previously thought impossible. The galaxy began to embrace a new era of collaboration, spurred by the example set by the human vessel and its crew. Yet, despite the accolades and admiration, the humans remained humble. They did not seek fame or control. They moved deliberately, demonstrating that their power lay not in dominance, but in resilience, intelligence, and unity. Every action, every decision, reinforced the lesson the galaxy was slowly learning. Humans were extraordinary because they combined courage, creativity, and empathy in ways no other species had mastered. As the human vessel prepared for its next expedition, the crew looked out at the stars, aware of the eyes watching them. They had become a symbol of possibility, a living legend inspiring hope and ambition across countless civilizations. The galaxy, once fearful and dismissive, was now fascinated and respectful. Humanity's place had been reborn, not as conquerors, but as pioneers, teachers, and exemplars of what determination and ingenuity could achieve. And so the human vessel set course for the unknown, leaving behind a galaxy transformed. In every corner, civilization spoke in reverent tones of the species that had returned from the Forbidden Zone, not to dominate, but to demonstrate the heights that could be reached when courage and intelligence were combined. Legends were reborn, and the name of humanity became synonymous with possibility, endurance, and hope. The galaxy had changed. Once, humans were little more than myths whispered among explorers and historians, tales of a species lost to time and the perils of deep space. Now they were living proof that courage, intelligence, and ingenuity could challenge even the most dangerous corners of existence. The human vessel, calm and steady, sailed through space like a beacon, a symbol of resilience and possibility. Captain. Arik stood on the bridge, observing the stars stretching infinitely in every direction. The human crew worked with quiet efficiency, maintaining systems, monitoring anomalies, and preparing for their next course. Yet despite the high stakes of their environment, there was a sense of serenity aboard the vessel. Humans had faced the impossible and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. Across countless civilizations, news of humanity's return continued to spread. Alien historians updated their records, acknowledging a species that had not merely survived, but mastered the most hostile regions of space. Explorers sought guidance, scientists requested collaboration, and leaders extended diplomatic gestures. Humanity's approach was deliberate. They accepted partnerships carefully, choosing cooperation over dominance, knowledge over aggression, and diplomacy over conflict. A young alien officer from a nearby fleet approached the human vessel under formal escort, carrying gifts of rare minerals and encoded data. "Your people. They have changed the way we understand survival," the officer said, voice trembling with awe. "You have turned what we feared into what we now revere." Captain Arik nodded. "We do not seek to dominate. We simply survive, adapt, and learn. That is all humanity has ever done, and that is what we bring to the galaxy." The officer's species had long measured power in terms of fleets, firepower, and technological superiority. Yet the humans demonstrated that true strength could lie in unity, innovation, and the ability to face uncertainty with clarity and courage. Every demonstration of skill, every calculated maneuver, reinforced the lesson. Humans were extraordinary, not because they sought conquest, but because they had learned to thrive where others failed. The crew of the human vessel also carried knowledge, recovered from the Forbidden Zone, technology, energy sources, and ancient artifacts that had eluded the galaxy for centuries, yet they did not hoard it. Instead, they offered access selectively, teaching others how to adapt and integrate the discoveries into their own systems. They were educators, explorers, and exemplars, showing that wisdom and collaboration could achieve far more than brute force alone. As the vessel prepared for its next expedition into uncharted space, Captain Arik reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Generations of humans had lived, fought, and thrived in the Forbidden Zone, turning fear and isolation into opportunity and knowledge. Their survival was not an accident. It was the result of persistence, adaptability, and trust in one another. The both galaxy watched with anticipation. Every species that had encountered humanity began to ask the same question. What could humans achieve next? Could they unlock the secrets of other dangerous regions? Could they guide civilizations toward cooperation and exploration rather than conflict? The possibilities seemed endless, and hope spread wherever news of the humans reached. Arik looked at the stars, a faint smile on his face. "We have returned," he said softly. "Not to conquer, not to dominate, but to show what can be accomplished. When courage, intelligence, and unity guide every action. That is our place in the galaxy." With that, The human vessel accelerated toward the unknown, its course charted for mysteries yet to be explored. Alien fleets and observers watched in awe as it disappeared among distant stars, leaving behind a legacy that would inspire generations. Humanity had not only returned, they had redefined what it meant to survive, to explore, and to thrive. Whispers echoed across the galaxy. When a human vessel appeared in the Forbidden Zone, the impossible became real. Humanity endures. Humanity inspires. Humanity leads. And so, the legend became reality. The galaxy had witnessed humans rise from myth to mastery, demonstrating that courage, intelligence, and determination could turn even the most dangerous and forbidden regions of space into a canvas for achievement. Humanity's story was no longer one of survival alone. It was a story of inspiration, unity, and the limitless potential of a species determined to leave its mark on the stars. The stars stretched infinitely ahead, full of mystery and possibility, and the human vessel sailed on, a living testament to what the galaxy could achieve when one species refused to yield to fear. Humanity had claimed its place, not through conquest, but through brilliance, courage, and unshakable resolve. The galaxy would never forget the day humans returned from the Forbidden Zone.